Have you ever read the book Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind? Super interesting book. I first heard about it through Tim Ferriss, and I picked up a copy and started reading it and found it fascinating that Neanderthals, the knuckle-dragging cavemen, actually lived at the same time as Homo sapiens, modern man, our ancestors. And there's some information in there that really got my attention. They lived at the same time, Neanderthal and Homo sapien. And obviously, the Homo sapiens were much, much smarter. They were much more agile, while the Neanderthals were big and strong, but maybe not so smart. And there's evidence, they found evidence that the Homo sapiens wiped out the Neanderthals. Now, the Neanderthals were bigger, they were stronger, but they didn't evolve. And it's exactly the same way in business. We can get wiped out if we don't evolve. So today we're going to talk about 3 things we can do to evolve our marketing to bring in better clients. First, we'll talk about growth. Then we'll talk about problems. And then we'll finish off with language. So let's jump in. One of my favorite authors is Steve Siebold. His book, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, is one of my favorites. I go back to it and read it all the time. If you haven't checked it out, pick up a copy. There's this quote from Steve that I want to share with you. You're either growing or dying. Stagnation does not exist in the universe. And this is science, baby. Creatures are evolving or they're going extinct. It's one of my favorite sayings there, evolve or go extinct. And that's the way it is in nature. That's the way it is in business. That's the way it is in your marketing. We keep evolving. Now, here is one of the biggest mistakes that I made, and I paid a lot to figure out I was making this mistake. And I'm going to share it with you now. I actually invested 50 G's to be in a mastermind with some guys who brought this to my attention. I'm about to save you those 50 G's if you just listen to this one thing that I'm going to share with you right now. We're evolving. We're growing. We're changing. Who we are today is not who we were yesterday, last month, or last year. Now, here's a big mistake that we all make. And really, this is me reminding myself not to make this mistake again. If we are evolving, why would we not think that the people we serve are also evolving? Yeah. Weird concept. And this is what I'm talking about. I was in this mastermind that I paid $50K a year to be a part of. And in one of the sessions, we were reviewing some copy, and the guys told me, hey, these problems that you're talking about solving, like getting downloads and being at the top of the charts, is that really what your clients want today? Is that really what the people you serve are most interested in? And it was like a punch in the mouth from Mike Tyson. I was down for the count when I realized, oh my gosh, I'm using copy, I'm using hooks, and I'm using ideas from 4 or 5 years ago, talking to a different person. I don't serve that person anymore. And yet I'm still using this same concept. I'm still using this old, outdated copy. Why didn't I evolve my client avatar like I have evolved. It's a huge mistake, saving you 50 grand right here. That lesson alone was worth the price of admission for me. And I know that if you apply this to your business, it will change everything. You got to know who you are. You got to know who they are, the people that you can help. You got to know where they are and how you can help them. And this changes. In fact, I review my perfect client every 3 months. I call it the MKP review. It's in my calendar, the beginning of every quarter, MKP, my kind of people. I go back and review my client avatar, my client persona. Who are they? What problems do they have? Where are they going? What do they want? And I keep evolving them. And now they don't change much every 3 months. There might be 1 or 2 things. But if you look back over a year or 18 months, you start noticing the growth. You start noticing the evolution, the changes. Because as you're growing, as you're changing, your clients are growing. They're changing. Their needs are changing. And what you can do to help them grow changes. And if you've experienced the phenomenon where you don't get qualified leads and people are asking you for the wrong thing and you can't help them, maybe it's because you haven't evolved your client avatar. They haven't grown with you. You're talking to somebody in the past that you can no longer help. So you got to make sure that at minimum, every quarter, you're reviewing your client persona and evolving them, seeing how they have changed, how they've grown with your help, how you have grown, because your clients are just like you. They're growing, they're evolving, they're changing, and you got to keep updating that sheet, updating that person that you're talking to, updating and evolving so that they're keeping up, so they're not going extinct like those Neanderthals out there that were just strong but no brains. When I was an electrician, I worked my way up. I did all the crap work. I was behind the shovel forever, and anytime I got a chance, I hit up my journeyman, learned new skills, learned new information, learned new techniques so that I could up level the work that I was doing. And one of the reasons for that was obviously pride. I wanted to do better, more impactful work. But there was also the paycheck that came with it. As you develop skills, somebody who pushes a shovel is probably not making as much as somebody who assembles an entire electrical room. And that was what I did. I was always evolving my skills so that I could be rewarded. And get this, there's a pinnacle of being an electrician. I worked my way up for 9 years, and I went from apprentice to foreman. I had my own van. I was running my own crew, and I was making more money, and I had more problems. Thing is, the problems I had when I was a foreman were not the same problems I had when I was an apprentice. They were different problems. When I was an apprentice, it was learning, basic learning to get my skills up. When I became a foreman, it was running jobs and ordering materials and getting ahead of the crew. They were different problems. And this is one of the things that we can do on the regular when we're reviewing who our client is. We got to review what problems that new evolved client has. They have different problems as they grow. Like I said, when I started out in podcasting, people wanted top ratings. People wanted to get to the top of the charts. They wanted these vanity metrics, and I helped with that because that was an easy problem to solve. As my clients evolved, they had new problems. They didn't care about ratings. They didn't care about downloads. What they cared was having calls that closed. They were using the podcast as a tool to close more deals, to get more clients, to make more money. Different problems. Ratings and reviews, one problem. Getting listeners to turn into leads and then loot. Different problem, different set of skills. The problems evolve as you get more experience. And so inside of the quarterly MKP review, I'm always looking at what our clients are asking us. What problems are they having today that we can help solve? If you're doing this quarterly and you're keeping a log of problems that you are solving for your clients, I guarantee you, if you look back from today to last year, you're solving different problems. You're evolving and innovating. And this is where big value comes from. Because if you stay stuck in doing the same thing forever, you are not you're not innovating. You're not growing. You're not solving new problems. And eventually what happens is your clients outgrow you. They no longer need you. And this is something that if you want to help your clients forever, you got to be innovating. You got to be anticipating. You got to be thinking 4, 5, 6 moves ahead. What's next? What's coming? And how can we be of service to our clients? Now, one of the things that we do here, and if you are one of our clients, we have evolved quite a bit from where we started. We used to do a simple exercise called the client cloner, where we looked at who the person is that we're speaking to with our podcast so we can get a connection crystal clear with them. And that is still super helpful and still part of what we do. But we've evolved that to something that we use called the client journey. The client journey. Who is that ideal person, but what does their journey look like from listener to lead to client? Where are they trying to go? What are they trying to achieve? And how can we help them get there? That's how we look at a podcast as a tool to take that person who's listening on a journey to become your ideal client. And so if you are one of our clients and we haven't done a client journey in the last 6 months or a year, get on the calendar, get with Cupcake, get booked, and let's do this, because this is going to give you a crystal clear path to take your listener, whoever they are now, on that journey to becoming your client so that you can help them make the impact that they are meant to make in this world. And that's something that is offered to all our clients. And if you haven't taken advantage of it, get on it. Don't wait another second. But remember, the evolution of a client, they're growing, they're changing, they have new problems. We have to keep up to date on those new problems, and we have to innovate and find solutions to those problems so that we can be of service to our clients. Kind of like I said, the client journey is an evolution from where we started to where we are now, and how we help our hosts make a better connection and create a podcast that turns into clients and business. Have you ever read The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman? It's been a little while since I read it, but it definitely came in handy. And inside the book, he says there are 5 love languages. 1, words of affirmation. Saying, good job, attaboy, thank you so much. Words of affirmation. Number 2, quality time. Spending quality time together. Number 3, physical touch. Pat on the back, a hug, whatever it is. Number 4, acts of service. Doing wonderful things for one another. And number 5, receiving gifts. Now, before I read this book, I had never considered the idea of love languages, and I never ever thought about how my love language might be different than my wife Cupcake's love language. It never occurred to me, and that's why I'm grateful to have read this book, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. So after reading it, I realized that Cupcake and I, we had 2 different love languages. Some of the stuff we have in common. We both love quality time. We both love a kiss and a hug, physical touch. But our main love languages were different. For Cupcake, she needs words of affirmation. Oh, thank you for this wonderful dinner. It's so good. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, thank you for getting that done. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, you did so awesome at that. Unbelievable. You're amazing. She needs that. If you come to me with that stuff, I'm like, hey, enough. Get away. I don't like that. And so I didn't know that I had to give that to her till after reading the book. And I'm like, okay. I've learned a lot since then. And I always shower her with words of affirmation. Always say nice things because that's what she needs. That's her love language. For me, on the other hand, the main one is number 4. Acts of service. You want to show me you love me, baby? Make me dinner. That's it, man. I'm simple. Back to that Neanderthal. I just want to be fed. I want to be fed, and that's how you tell me that you love me. Feed me, I'm a happy dude. And she didn't know that either, and she figured it out. She figured it out, and it helped when we had little baby Huddy, and she came on board at the podcast factory. She didn't have to go out there and work all day and then come home and cook. But she figured out that you don't have to say anything to me. You don't have to pat me on the back. You put dinner on the table at a regular time, and I am happy. I am grateful. I love it. And this is something that I think we all miss when we're not regularly reviewing who our clients are, how they have grown, what new problems they have. We're not speaking their love language. Things change, problems change, and our language has to change. What we talk about has to be updated. Because if not, we're going to be talking the wrong language and we're going to be missing out on our ideal clients. And there's simple ways to do this. Obviously, I've been harping on this idea of a quarterly MKP review. Got to do that. You have to review your clients quarterly to see who they are, what they're up to. The other thing is so simple and so underrated that you are going to say, nah. You ready for this? Listen. All you have to do is listen. Listen to what your clients are saying. Listen to what they're talking about. Listen to the roadblocks that they're hitting, and keep a file of these things. Keep a file of all the things that they tell you. Because when you do that, you're able to decode their love language. That's how we figured out that ratings and reviews stopped being important and getting qualified leads and more sales was the top thing our clients wanted. It was by listening, noting and figuring out what they were saying to us and being able to mirror that back to them in our content, in our training, in our process, the direct response podcast process. All of that's because we listened to our clients, we evolved, we changed what we were saying and changed what we were doing. We were innovating. So they understood us. And more importantly, they feel understood. And that's really where it is, feeling understood, like with me and Cupcake, when I realized that she needed those words of affirmation. When she got that Louis bag, her first Louis bag, and she felt a little bit ashamed about, oh my gosh, I can't believe you spent all that money on that bag for me. You know what I said to her? You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve more than this. This is just the beginning. And how did I know those were the exact words that she needed? Because I listened to her, because she had told me that in a conversation in the past. And when I brought it back to her, she just kind of melted and felt so good. And that's what we can be doing if we listen to our clients, if we listen to where they're coming from, what they're dealing with, and if we mirror that back to them, we are speaking their love language. So let's do a quick review on the client evolution. This is something that I urge you to put into practice. Growth problems language. Growth. We are growing. If you're not growing, like Steve Seibel says, you are dying. So if we're consistently growing, so are the clients who we serve. That's why it's essential to do a quarterly MKP review. My kind of people. Who are they? Who am I? Who are they? Where are they? How can I help them? Just simple little questions to see how we are evolving and how our client is evolving. Next, more money, more problems. Things change as we evolve. New levels, new devils. I got all the cliches for you today. We have different problems as we progress on our journey, and we must keep up with the new problems our clients have so that we can create new innovations and not only keep up with where they are at right now, but start looking at the future, where they are going, what problems they are going to hit so that we can prepare them for that. So we can be of service to them long term. And last but not least, the love language. Are we speaking the right language? Are we saying the right things that will make our clients feel understood? Because if we understand them and they know that, it forms an instant bond. It forms trust. It lets them know that we can take care of them. That right there is the client evolution, growth problems language. Reviewing this quarterly will keep you ahead of not only your clients, but of all of your competition. Because I guarantee you, go out there and most people do not listen to their clients, do not innovate, do not evolve, especially not quarterly. And then they wonder, why am I talking to the wrong people? Why am I not connecting? Why do I have these low-level clients? I don't want that for you. So put that MKP quarterly review into practice and evolve your clients with you so that you can have an everlasting relationship with them. That's what I have for you today. Put it into action and thank me later.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.